all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
The web around Erika Kirk is getting darker and more complex by the day. Just as the world was processing the shocking details of her public feuds and questionable alibis, a new, far more disturbing front has opened up. Bombshell reports are now circulating online, claiming Erika was investigated by Child Protective Services, with insiders alleging her own nanny made the call. At the very same time, the money trail at Turning Point USA is raising serious questions. With Charlie gone, who is funding the massive, multi-million-dollar events, the fireworks, and the glittery sports cars? Some say these threads are unrelated, but others see a pattern. From disturbing links to a shadowy Romanian orphanage project to a trail of dark money that seems to have no end, the story is spiraling. Tonight, we're asking the questions no one else will. Is Erika Kirk at the center of a financial conspiracy? And are the attacks on her personal life a coordinated effort to distract from something much bigger? The truth is wilder than you can imagine.
Then Candace Owens just dropped a huge story between Erika Kirk's Romanian orphanage and a trafficking organization. I mean, dude, so for those of you who don't know, Erika Kirk was a part of this Romanian, I don't even know what the hell you really call it. It's an orphanage, and apparently it was linked to a bunch of trafficking stuff. And I'm trying to figure out how a young American woman is involved in so many high-level things. Like, I could tell you right now, Erika Kirk is not that intelligent.
And it could bring down the entire empire. The story of Erika Kirk has officially spiraled beyond simple online drama and into something far darker and more disturbing. While the public was still trying to piece together the timelines of secret military meetings and faked alibis, a new bombshell dropped, one that hits at the very core of her identity as a mother. Reports began circulating online, spreading like wildfire through social media threads and independent news articles, claiming that Erika had been investigated by Child Protective Services. According to these unverified reports, the call didn't come from a random internet troll, but from a supposed former nanny who allegedly grew concerned about the children's welfare. The whispers grew louder, with some insiders even claiming that Charlie Kirk's own parents, who have reportedly been wary of Erika from the start, temporarily took the children into their care. The narrative painted a picture of a woman losing control on all fronts, with her critics and even her late husband's family feeling vindicated, saying, "We told you so." Now, to be crystal clear, this has not been confirmed by any mainstream outlet, but the very existence of the rumor and how it exploded is a story in itself. The fire was fueled by a clip from a Patrick Bet-David podcast featuring Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. In the interview, she made a statement that the internet immediately seized upon, saying that Erika had lost her husband and lost her kids. That single sentence was clipped, shared, and reposted thousands of times, framed as official confirmation. It became the proof that critics needed. The truth, however, seems to be a classic case of online misinformation.
And I can tell you one, even if she's not grieving, she would grieve properly publicly. If I was a part of her PR team, I would tell her, whatever you're doing right now, do the exact opposite. Stop the fucking fireworks. Stop with the fake tears. Stop dabbing your eyes every second. You need to go on live TV and wherever and be on fire about what is going on with Charlie. But what happened is she gave a speech. Oh, you have lit a fire in this woman. Okay.
Luna later clarified that she simply misspoke, that she meant the children had tragically lost their father, not that Erika had lost custody. And honestly, that explanation feels believable. But in the court of public opinion, the damage was already done. the correction never travels as fast as the accusation. This entire episode shows just how volatile the public perception of Erika has become. There's a hunger for any narrative that paints her in a negative light, and it raises the question of whether this is organic public opinion or if there are coordinated forces pushing these stories behind the scenes. But the questions about her personal judgment don't end there. Peeling back another layer reveals a story that is infinitely darker than a custody rumor. It's a story that connects Erika to a shadowy overseas project known as the Romanian Angels. On the surface, it was presented as a heartfelt charity mission, an effort to help one of the world's most vulnerable populations, the orphaned children of Romania. But the deeper you dig, the more unsettling the connections become. The first red flag was raised when Erika was heard on camera, publicly, thanking a specific military colonel for his help with the project. As investigators and online sleuths began looking into this individual, his background allegedly tied back to deeply troubling activities involving orphaned children.
And Erika Kirk, God bless, tragic, and I'm sorry for what happened, but nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out. She's out there talking to Nicki Minaj. People are confused. What's going on? Those are the three words that sum up this whole entire mess that we've created.
Suddenly, this charity mission didn't look so pure. I'm not suggesting Erika would knowingly involve herself in something sinister, but it forces you to ask a fundamental question. What was a young American woman with a media background doing mixed up in this incredibly complex and dangerous world? How did she even get access to these circles? To understand the gravity of this, you have to understand the tragic reality of Romania's orphanages. For decades, the country has been haunted by the images of overcrowded institutions, of babies lying in cribs in complete silence. They learn within days of being born that no one is coming when they cry. That is a soul-crushing reality. The idea that an infant could realize their cries for help are meaningless. As these children grow up, they often remain trapped in cycles of neglect, abuse, and exploitation, their lives scarred by the primal wound of abandonment. The thought of these same vulnerable children ending up in the hands of questionable institutions or becoming pawns in a darker game is gut-wrenching. And this is what makes Erika's connection to this world so baffling. She seems to move through so many high-level networks, surrounded by powerful people, yet these bizarre and disturbing coincidences keep piling up around her. As Tucker Carlson once pointedly asked a guest, "How many people do you know who've ever even been accused of those types of crimes?" When the guest said, "None," Tucker replied, "Exactly, me neither." That line is powerful because it highlights the core of the public's suspicion. Most people go their entire lives without ever crossing paths with the dark underbelly of the world. So how do certain circles seem to keep bumping into the same kind of trouble over and over again? This brings us to the performance of her grief. If you're trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, her public behavior makes it almost impossible. When her speech after Charlie's passing went viral, it didn't evoke sympathy. For many, it triggered a wave of secondhand embarrassment. The tone, the delivery, the carefully dabbed tears. It didn't feel raw. It felt staged. It felt like a performance rehearsed in front of a mirror, not the authentic anguish of a grieving widow. As one commentator put it, if he were on her PR team, he would have told her to do the exact opposite. Stop the fireworks at memorial events. Stop the fake tears. Stop showing up to events in glittering pantsuits and recreated murder tents. He said she needed to be on fire, demanding justice for Charlie. Instead, the world got a theatrical declaration. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. It sounded less like a promise for justice and more like a movie tagline. And that's the problem. When you're dealing with a real-life tragedy, but you present it with the polish and production of a Hollywood film, people instinctively know something is off. They know they're being sold a story, not shown the truth. It's this perceived lack of authenticity that has made her the perfect target for conspiracy and suspicion, leaving the public to wonder, if she's performing her grief, what else is she performing? While the public has been fixated on Erika Kirk's bizarre behavior, her past connections, and the custody rumors, a much bigger story has been brewing just beneath the surface, one that follows the money. And in any political operation, the money trail tells the real story. To understand what's happening now, we have to look at Turning Point USA before the tragedy. Charlie Kirk was the undisputed heart and soul of the entire organization. This wasn't just public perception. Insiders, donors, and even his critics all said the same thing. He was the charismatic engine, the face, the driving force that built the TPuSA empire from the ground up. His energy and his vision were what kept the entire multi-million-dollar machine running. That's why, in the immediate aftermath of his passing, the most pressing question wasn't just about succession, it was about survival. Many people, not out of malice, but out of realism, wondered if the organization could even continue to exist without him. But then, something strange happened. Not only did TPuSA survive, it seemed to shift into a new, unprecedented gear. Fast forward just a few months, and the organization is back to throwing massive, flashy, high-production events. We're talking elaborate stage setups that rival music concerts, stunning pyrotechnic displays, and high-end visuals. In one of the most talked-about moments, Erika Kirk herself made a grand entrance at an event, pulling up in a glittering, high-end sports car as if she were the star of a blockbuster movie. The optics were jarring. The raw, grassroots energy that Charlie had cultivated seemed to be replaced by a glossy, corporate, almost Hollywood-style production. And that kind of production costs serious money. These aren't small-time gatherings funded by merchandise sales. These are multi-million-dollar spectacles, and it forces you to ask the most important question of all: who is funding this? With the primary fundraiser and face of the organization gone, where is all of this new money suddenly coming from? This question becomes even more pressing when you remember Charlie Kirk's own stance on political funding. While he was a master fundraiser, he was also increasingly vocal about his skepticism towards certain powerful lobby groups and the influence of dark money in politics. He often pushed for transparency, for audits, for financial accountability. He understood that in the world of politics, big donations always come with strings attached. No one writes a seven-figure check out of pure altruism. They expect access, they expect influence, and most importantly, they expect the organization to move in a direction that serves their interests. So, with Charlie no longer at the helm, you have to wonder if the people who are now writing those massive checks are the very same people whose influence he was beginning to question. Has the organization he built been co-opted by new money with a new agenda? It's a chilling thought. This is where the story takes another dark turn, connecting back to a name that keeps popping up in these circles: Cabeth Phillips. While that name might not be widely known to the public, an investigation by Project Constitution recently unearthed a wild claim linking a life insurance LLC in Charlie Kirk's name to shell companies allegedly involved in North Korean weapons trading. The report claimed that these entities shared the same registered address and even the same registered agents as companies that were later seized by the FBI. On the surface, that is an explosive, almost unbelievable headline. It sounds like something straight out of a political thriller. However, it's crucial to approach this with a dose of skepticism. In the world of business, it's actually quite common for thousands of unrelated companies to share the same address. This is because they use what's called a registered agent service, a third-party company like LegalZoom that handles legal paperwork and provides a physical address for mail. It doesn't mean the companies are connected or even aware of each other's existence. So, the shared address theory, while tantalizing, is most likely a coincidence, not a conspiracy. But even if that specific connection is a dead end, the very fact that investigators are digging into the financial structures around Charlie and TPuSA is significant. It highlights the growing suspicion that something about the organization's financial health doesn't add up. The scale of spending we are seeing now just seems completely out of sync with an organization that just lost its primary rainmaker. It feels like someone has opened up a fire hose of cash, and the public has no idea who is holding the nozzle. This is no longer just about Erika's behavior or her past. This is about power, money, and control. It's about the very soul of the conservative movement that Charlie Kirk helped build. The fireworks and the sports cars aren't just for show. They are a declaration. They are a signal that new leadership is in place, with a new vision and, most importantly, a new source of funding. And in the ruthless world of politics, a change in funding always means a change in direction. The question is, where is that new direction heading? And is it a direction Charlie Kirk would have ever approved of? As the financial questions around Turning Point USA continue to grow, the original story, the tragic event that started it all, remains shrouded in mystery and frustratingly incomplete. The official narrative is that a man named Tyler Robinson was responsible, but a report from Candace Owens has thrown even that into question. According to her sources, Robinson never confessed. Her version of events paints a picture of a confused and scared individual who was pressured into turning himself in, insisting he was being framed. Again, that is an unverified report, but it opens up a Pandora's box of hypotheticals. If, for the sake of argument, he didn't do it, then who did? And more importantly, who else might have had the means, motive, and opportunity? This leads back to the digital evidence. In today's world, our entire lives are on our devices. If someone wanted to frame another person, gaining access to their phone or computer would be the first step. The narrative has mentioned other individuals within the TPuSA circle, including one with a known history of erratic and unstable behavior. Could someone else have had access to Robinson's accounts? Could evidence have been planted or manipulated? These are uncomfortable questions, but they are the natural result of an investigation that feels like it's missing key pieces. We have to stay grounded in the fact that we, the public, do not have access to all the evidence. It's entirely possible that investigators have airtight proof that we just haven't seen yet. Maybe there is a perfectly logical reason why certain pieces of information, especially video footage, have not been made public. But that's precisely the problem. The silence is deafening. The authorities know that the public is dissecting every frame of the limited footage that has been released. They know that every inconsistency is being debated and theorized online. So, if there is clear, irrefutable video evidence that shows exactly what happened that night, why not release it? If there is footage from the rooftop that captures the entire event, why only release the chaotic aftermath and not the act itself? Releasing that footage would instantly silence every rumor, every conspiracy theory, every shred of speculation. The defense attorneys will see it eventually in discovery, so it's not a secret that can be kept forever. At this point, the continued secrecy feels less like protecting an investigation and more like protecting a narrative. It leaves the public asking the same two questions over and over. Who is really running this investigation? And who is deciding what the American people are allowed to see? This is where all the threads of this sprawling, complicated story begin to converge. You have Erika Kirk, a woman whose public performance of grief feels so polished and inauthentic that it has made her a lightning rod for suspicion. Her background as a trained pageant queen, Miss Arizona, is now being viewed through a new lens. Pageantry is, at its core, the art of performance. It's about image control, projecting perfection, and selling a persona. Every smile, every answer, every tear is rehearsed. So when Erika sits in front of a camera, calm and composed, and delivers a powerful line like, "You have no idea what you just have unleashed," is the world seeing a grieving widow or a trained performer tapping into her skill set? This doesn't make her a bad person, but it does make her incredibly difficult to read and, for many, hard to trust. Then you have the money. The sudden, inexplicable explosion of spending at TPuSA, an organization that should be in a period of rebuilding, not extravagant expansion. The flashy events feel less like a tribute to Charlie's legacy and more like a declaration of a new era, funded by unknown benefactors with an unknown agenda. And finally, you have the official investigation itself, which has been characterized by a lack of transparency that has only fueled more distrust and speculation. When you put it all together, you are left with a story that is much bigger than one woman or one organization. It's a story about the intersection of media, money, and power. It's about how easily a narrative can be shaped and controlled, and how an audience, starved for authenticity, will go to extraordinary lengths to find the truth when they feel they are being lied to. This is why the internet has become so obsessed with this story. Every new detail, every new theory, every unanswered question just adds more fuel to a fire that is already burning out of control. And it won't stop. Not until the full, unvarnished truth is finally laid bare for the world to see. So, where does the truth lie? We are left with a story that has three distinct but deeply connected fronts: the perplexing personal behavior of Erika Kirk, the questionable river of dark money now flowing through Turning Point USA, and an official investigation that seems to be withholding the very evidence that could provide clarity. Are these all just tragic coincidences, or are we witnessing a multi-layered cover-up play out in real time? Is the focus on Erika's personal life a deliberate distraction to keep us from following the money? And who benefits the most from keeping the public in the dark about what really happened to Charlie Kirk? I want to know what you think is the most critical piece of this puzzle. Is it the personal drama, the financial trail, or the flawed investigation? Drop your most detailed theories in the comments section below. If this deep dive has you questioning the official story, make sure you hit that like button and share this video to help expose the truth. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for all notifications, because we are just scratching the surface, and you won't want to miss what comes out next.